Welcome back to Appalachian Dim Sum.
Where entertainment is our comfort food.
And this is episode 64.
That's right. And
right.
we've got a few things to talk about on this one. I think the focus of our last one was looking at Ghost in the Shell because getting very close now. Was it less than a month?
Yeah, July 7th is when the new Ghost in the Shell anime series starts.
Yeah, so is there any other? We still haven't found another title. It's just Ghost in the Shell 2026.
I think that when I Google it, that's what I Google, Ghost in the Shell 2026.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll have another sub name or not, but
yeah, Ghost in the Shell has this thing where they like to, every time they come out with something new, it's like we're starting over. Yeah. It's always a fresh look at the Ghost in the Shell mythos.
So kind of what we're doing this month and a little bit last month is we're just kind of working through the Ghost in the Shell properties.
Yep.
And we will talk a little bit about Ghost in the Shell 2 because we talked about the original movie last time.
Right. And we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about was this was literally a late night thing. I was just flicking through Netflix, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I just want something brainless, something stupid, something I don't have to actually pay attention to. So Rooster Fighter is what I came across.
Seems like One Punch Man with like a chicken instead of One Punch Man.
I've never seen One Punch Man, but that's my assumption. That's pretty much what it is. I'm going to look up the characters' names here.
Yeah, I've watched 2 seasons of One Punch Man, and have I watched 3? I don't even know how many seasons there are. I can tell you a lot of the events that happen in them, but it really is one of those, not totally mindless, but it's pretty mindless.
Yeah. So the setup for this is that there's this chicken. His name is KG, and he's just a chicken. I thought maybe it'd be like this a chicken that's embodied with the spirit of a warrior. No, he's just a chicken.
Just a chicken.
And you learn, like in the first episode, that there was a demon that ate his sister, and he's out to find this demon. And that's it. He travels from town to town, killing demons, hopefully to find the demon that killed his sister.
The chickens know to find out what happens at KFC and Popeyes.
Well, I've only watched 2 episodes so far. In the second episode, there was a couple of kids that were like, "Hey, there's that chicken again," and they were talking to the chicken. They're like, "Hey, do you want some food?" And they handed him some fried chicken, and they said, "Here's some fried chicken." He's like, "Some fried what?" Yeah, and his internal monologue is that like really stoic and like manly, gruff voice. And the demons are actually kind of interesting. They're humans who become demons, and they're these huge kaiju-sized demons. They're gigantic. And something happens to a human that makes them transform.
That's something I've seen in a couple of anime, and I'm not obviously Demon Slayer, but there's another one that had something like that too, and I can't place it. But
I'm wondering if there's something in like Japanese myth and lore about people becoming demons.
Yeah, probably their version of demon possession.
Yeah, well, like in the second one, you're introduced to Chicken Little, which is Pyoko, and it's just a little chick. And this chick is a part of a group of other little chickens, and that little chicken is like the runt. And this the man that turns into the demon in the episode is taking care of that chicken, and he's doing like painting, and he paints the word duty on the back of the little chicken. And he's like, duty is when you do what you need to do. And the little chicken's like, "Oh, thank you, master." And he turns into a demon, and he seems like a nice guy. He kind of looks like a creep. And at one point, like he's trying to sell chicks, and people get scared of him because he kind of looks like a creep. So he's upset that people see him as being a creep, and that kind of, I guess, that might be what turns him into a demon. But anyway, the thing that amuses me so much during the show is the KG will be running around, and he'll be making chicken noises. But they didn't have a chicken noise. It's the voice actor going, "Caw, caw, 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 caw." It's wonderful. He has a, in Street, the Kame in a Dragon Ball Kame, he has that. Okay. But Koke. and this energy blast comes out of his face. It's great. It is a blast.
Oh,
I don't have a lot. I mean, I've said a lot about it, but I don't. It's a mindless anime, but
there's not
it's
but so
fun.
much you can say about things like that, but
Right.
they're worth watching.
Yeah.
Or
I don't expect I want to talk 15 minutes about it at any point,
yeah, yeah. Uh,
but it's fun.
we're working our way through Golden Kamui, and it swaps back and forth from like a really kind of serious story to like a cultural history show
Mhm.
to stuff like that,
Okay. Yeah.
where you get some there's some sequences that are just it's a level of humor that's not I'm not on that wavelength, but
Right.
you watch it and you're just kind of laughing. You're just like, man, what kind of crazy person came up with this stuff?
When we were watching it, my wife was next to me because a part of it was is that usually how it works is we wind down for the night and she's like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'm like, okay. And a lot of times I'll watch like horror movies or something like that she doesn't really care for. So I didn't want to start something because she was just still hanging out there. And I was like, oh, let me try this. And there was just a touching moment in the anime, and she's like, oh, that's kind of sweet. I was like, yeah. I said you'd be surprised because she's not really into anime. You'd be surprised at how much anime has a lot of heart.
Yeah.
That is one thing that I think separates anime from a lot of Western media. Is like Western media, yes, Western media does have touching moments and stuff like that, but
Usually when I'm trying to show somebody something like that, that will happen, and then the very following scene will just be the one thing that they don't like about anime, and they'll be like,
right,
I forgot about that.
yeah,
Oops. But
yeah, yeah.
and you have to excuse me through this episode if you're listening. I've got the crud from who knows what.
Yeah.
So every time I laugh, I'm gonna say, I think I've been I think I texted you the other day. I've been transformed into like a 65-year-old smoker. So
Yep.
when I laugh, I'll try not to just lung rattle into the microphone, but a little hard to avoid.
Yeah, maybe if you turn to the side, I guess that might help.
We'll save you the conversation we were having about mucus before we started recording.
If you want to be grossed out, look up hagfish. But let's go ahead and talk about the numbers of Ghosts in the Shell.
Yes. Yeah, this is Ghost in the Shell 2, Innocence, which is a sequel movie a little bit down the road. Ghost in the Shell was 1995, right?
Yes.
I don't think I wrote that down.
And this was in the 2000s.
This was 2004.
Oh, like 10 years later. See, that to me, that's the sweet spot.
Yeah,
if you're gonna, I say 15 years. If you go past 15 years and you haven't made a sequel, don't bother.
I would think within 5 would be more relevant.
Ideal, yeah.
But I don't know what all happened in that whole process. But
well, I'm thinking of like the way a lot of movies, like Top Gun Maverick, as good as that movie was,
yeah,
it would have been better if it came out like in the 90s.
Yeah, and Top Gun Maverick is one of those movies that became such a popular movie and did so well in the box office because of what happened in the movies.
Right. Well, I think it was Spielberg that said that Tom Cruise saved cinema or something like that.
Yeah, it's just people are just happy to go see something they could actually sit through.
Yeah.
It was a really good movie, but it would have been just another summer movie in the 80s or early 90s.
This is definitely an aside.
Yeah.
I saw recently about were you ever a Star Trek or Doctor Who fan?
No, okay. Neither.
Well, apparently the newest Star Trek.
I say that with a caveat. Wrath of Khan I put as probably one of my top 10 sci-fi movies ever, but I don't care about Star Trek. I just love that movie.
Oh, okay.
However that fits in, however you can quantify that. That's
well, I definitely growing up, I was definitely really big into the Next Generation. Like I had the ship, I had the little teleporter that you could you put the toy in and you turn a knob and a mirror would move and it looked like they left. Yeah. They were gone. I loved the Next Generation. But apparently I think it was Starfleet Academy. Yeah, that's gone now. They canceled that. That's done.
I saw things about that. I'm like,
and apparently Doctor Who is kind of going along the same trajectory.
I think they've been along that same trajectory for a while.
Well, I mean, they're canceled now.
Oh, they're gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
my wife's family was big into Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I guess the old stuff. Did it used to be on like PBS or something?
I'm sure.
I don't think they were kind of like me where they didn't have a lot of access to cable and things out in the Midwest. So But I think it was something she and her dad watched together. But I think that was, I can't even tell you the actors, but old Doctor Who. She could tell you which one was which and all that. But I've seen one of them in a show. Gray haired guy's got kind of crazy hair. I have no idea. Again, I've never even seen an
Which one it
episode
is?
of. Yeah.
Well, I was one of these. I wasn't a Doctor Who fan from like before 2000, but I heard about Doctor Who coming back, and I enjoyed like the first couple of seasons.
Mm.
The
Was that like Hugh Laurie or something?
Hugh Laurie. Hugh is he House? Hugh Laurie? Yeah, that's House. He'd make a good Doctor.
Okay, I thought he was a Doctor Who.
No, he put
Okay.
on House. I'm trying to think of the name. Doctor Who actors. Let's see. There's so many of them.
There was one that was kind of in the more recent stuff that was kind of the one everybody liked. I can't remember.
There was a older man, Peter Capaldi.
Okay.
Okay. If you could say like I had like a favorite Doctor Who was David Tennant.
That's the one I'm trying to think of.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was the one that I heard a lot of people liked his version of it. But.
Yeah. Christopher Eccleston was like he was like the first one. He's like the first season of the new Doctor Who, and he just did the one season, and David Tennant did a few, and then it changed to Matt Smith, and that's kind of when I fell off during the Matt Smith arc. Then it was Peter Capaldi, Jodie Whittaker, and
Eccleston was the military guy, the sergeant in 28 Days Later.
Yeah,
the kind of red haired guy. Yeah.
And Nukati Gatwa is the current Doctor now. I just looked it up and it said that they've canceled the 2026 Christmas special, and the showrunner is stepping down. So maybe it's not canceled, but it's not looking good.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's why Maverick was so popular, is because the kind of stuff people are walking away from television shows because they're tired of. Instead of like the old Star Trek, it was like, yes, they had messages to tell, but they like gave you allegory and they gave you story to like deliver the message. Now it's just like they're telling you what the message they want. That is the story.
It's the writers just writing themselves into everything.
Right.
And that's not the same thing as like, this would be a good message for the show to deliver.
Right. And Top Gun Maverick just got back to there are bad guys. We need to stop the bad guys.
Yeah.
I did notice they didn't name who the bad guys were. That was their like concession to modern politics. They're like, well, we're not going to say who these foreign people are.
At the time that came out, that could have sparked something you didn't want to spark.
Right, exactly. So they're just like, just bad guys. That's fine.
Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Numbers on this thing, had a $20 million budget, and up through the numbers that I could find, it has grossed just over 10 million.
That's not good.
And I think, you talk about that window on a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was too long.
Yeah.
It only got 47 theaters in North America at all.
I didn't realize it actually went to the theater.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. I was not even, if I saw this and that this was in the theater, I would not have gone to see it because I didn't know anything about this stuff back then.
There was a period of time in the early to mid 2000s where I was just kind of like checked out of everything because I was in college and getting married and all that kind of stuff.
I had a 4-year-old, and we didn't have our second yet, so I could have cared less about this. There's no numbers for the home sales and streaming.
Right.
Ishikawa, who was, I think, the producer, somebody talked to him in 2025 at like a film thing, and he said they were asking about making a Ghost in the Shell 3,
mm-hmm.
and he said this is still had not turned a profit yet.
Oh wow!
So
that's a no.
Apparently they won't do it until it does. So, but the kind of flip side of that is that because this all originates from manga and manga sales and stuff like that, mm-hmm. is there's really no way to track like what it did to the franchise.
Right.
Getting a theatrical release, having a second movie, how much interest that put back into the manga. Who knows what kind of money that generated? I don't even know how that would even get distributed between people.
I'm sure there are like analytic brokers that have the information of like, well, the movie came out on this day and this is, how much the franchise as a whole grew during this period of time after the movie came out. Yeah.
I spent 30 minutes searching, trying to think of different ways to phrase numbers for searches and stuff, and could not find anything. So I think Japan doesn't release a lot of information on stuff like that, and it's almost like streaming services. They don't want to release their numbers because they don't want people to run with it and be like, well, this, you failed and you didn't make money, you lost this much, you spent so much on this and you didn't make but this. And I still don't understand how even streaming services even process
and make a profit
numbers at this point.
Yeah,
it's just one big pool of money that everybody pulls out of, and I guess if the pool's still there, then you just keep jumping in and swimming around.
Well, I even question whether or not, like, when you go to Netflix, it was like #1 this week. I'm like, is it really? Like, you're just putting what you want us to watch there. I don't believe these are based on actual viewership. It's just we're pushing this today.
I noticed that on Hulu when we had it, that under their whatever month it was, that they always had a banner across that you had to try to navigate past so you could see what was actually on. The next thing was their top 10 or top 15 or whatever it was. And it was like, you're sitting there flipping through that. I was like,
who's watching this?
Who on earth would watch this? And how is this #1? It's like, if this is #1, our country is screwed. And if not, then stop trying to push this stuff on me.
I've also wondered, and this is definitely more with like YouTube and TikTok and stuff, but also with Netflix and Hulu, the streaming services, how much of that are actual people? Yeah. Like how many of those views are just bot farms that are just like clicking through these things so that they can generate views?
This is one of the reasons we got rid of Hulu and we got rid of Netflix before then, is because one of the most entertaining things I could do on either one of those services was go to one of their little representation categories and pull up whatever movies it did, and I'd go through and thumbs down everything there. I was like, don't put this on my algorithm. I don't want it popping up. I don't want to see it.
Apparently one of the more damaging things you can do is start something and then stop it. Put it on for like 5 minutes and then stop.
Yeah. The fact that I could spend that much time going through and like saying, this is content I don't want. I'm like, why am I paying for this? And
right.
Now I'm not paying for any of it. So, but back to one last thing on Ghost in the Shell. It's Production IG, same ones that did. It's a massive company. They've done,
I noticed that. Yeah.
Half of what we talk about is done by Production IG. And this was directed, screenplay written by, this is still, help me on this one, Mamoru, right?
No idea.
Mamoru Oshii.
Mamoru, okay, sure. What do they do?
The same guy that wrote the
original?
Yeah, the original.
Oh, okay.
Mamoru, I think that's how you say it.
He
directed,
fine.
Wrote the screenplay, everything on this. So it was direct.
He's Pat Labor.
Direct continuity over from the first movie.
Yeah. So, now, do you know if this has any kind of connection to the manga? Like the original one did, but does this?
They mentioned, I didn't write that down. I'll look it up before we get back to talking about it later. They mentioned that it was either based on a section of a manga or there's something in writing. I don't remember if it's like a spin-off series or it's part of like a main manga line that they kind of pulled this story out of. So,
all right, we want to go ahead and talk about our meal for the
we still are Appalachian dim sum. We still do a food. As always, 2 days before we're going to shoot, we're like,
we need a food.
Starting to text like, what are we going to do for food?
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember any food in Ghost in the Shell 2.
Yeah, so I was just doing, I guess my dad joke mind was working, so I was like, how about roast in a shell?
And that amused me significantly. And here's the image I made of roast in the shell.
I was literally like, how about we just put roast beef in a taco shell? Yep. And he was like,
that works.
That works.
I like it. Our actual, I'll put the actual image up here. The actual roast in the shell is a lot more appetizing than the image I have on screen.
Yeah.
Yep. No comment.
Yeah. We could, that'd be a food truck for an anime show, probably.
Yeah. Anyway, it was very good, actually. I think you put any kind of sandwich meat inside of a taco shell and it's going to be fine.
We've got the little heritage market down here in Fincastle. They do fresh cut deli stuff. Went in there this morning, got fresh cut roast beef, came back and diced it up, so it didn't look like that. And we put it into our tacos with just, we had tacos last night, so we already had sour cream, tomatoes, jalapeno, all that stuff here. I think we made we took some sour cream and we mixed sriracha in with it, so we made like a sriracha sour cream to put on it.
If anyone is just listening, the image we have is a taco shell that is full of probably like 7 or 8 slices of roast beef. Yeah. I can't imagine biting into something like that. It'd just be way too much.
Roast beef is
dense.
The dad and me was like, "You're not eating that much roast beef. That's expensive."
You're right.
It's like a $30. That's a $30 taco right there.
Right. But yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know if I'd ever have roast in the shell just because, but
I don't think I would do it on purpose. Yeah. But I think I described it while we were upstairs as like, this is like bachelor food.
Yeah.
Like, I got taco shells. I got some roast beef.
Open up the fridge. What do I have?
I got a few tomatoes and some jalapenos. It's like, we're in business.
All right. So for the rest of the episode, we are going to talk about Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence. But before we both brought something that we watched over the past week.
Yeah.
I brought Expelled from Paradise.
Yeah. It's an anime series or movie?
Animated movie. But there's an explicit reason. We'll talk about it, why I want to talk about it.
And I finally got to see Good Boy.
Yeah.
The horror movie about a dog.
Which I clicked past multiple times. And there's one thing very, very explicit, and I'll ask when we talk about it, that I totally just want spoiled for me.
Yeah.
To know whether or not I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
But we'll be back with we'll talk about Good Boy.
All right. Well, we'll come back. All right, we're back. We're going to talk about a couple things that we watched. I guess I'm up first.
Yep.
Watched it last night, so this is very fresh in my mind. Okay. We all got together and had access to Hulu through a friend, so we watched Good Boy.
Okay.
Good Boy is made in 2025. Directed by and written by, I think the whole process was pretty much by Ben Leonberg.
Isn't this his first film?
Yeah. Looks like if you kind of go through the rest of the credits of stuff, I think maybe another guy, another girl, I didn't write those names down. I think they kind of worked as a team to go do this thing. $70,000 budget.
Okay.
To make it.
How much did it make?
$8.7 million.
There is and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but Backrooms at some point I'm going to see, obviously. Yeah. Obsession, I'm probably going to see at some point. But there is a resurgence of cheap independent horror films, and I think it's great.
It's the laws of supply and demand. They don't change. They're kind of undefeated in the whole like economy of people being alive, and it's just it balancing itself. It's gotten to where demand for these kind of things is up here, and the supply of stuff that nobody wants is up here too, and it's balancing itself out. People are going to spend their money on what they want to spend it on, and unfortunately these the bigger companies can still, Disney and whoever else, can still just throw stuff out and get enough revenue. I think you were talking about it in the last one. It's like, that doesn't matter if these three were horrible, because we got Toy Story coming. Toy Story is going to fix everything and it'll balance our books, and then we're good to make 2 more years of nothing, and then we can do another sequel to some other animated thing, or we'll make a live action of an animated thing.
And I think like actors even kind of do the same thing, where they have like they do the commercially viable film, and then that gives them enough like credit in Hollywood to go do a couple of passion projects.
Yeah. I think we were talking about that with like Zoe Saldana.
Yeah,
we were talking about actresses and actors a few episodes ago. Oh, she was like one of the top paid.
I think she's number 1 right now.
Yeah, I think she was one. But it's like, if you want to actually see her act, go look for the stuff that nobody's heard of. It's like
the not Marvel stuff.
She's actually not a bad actress. Yeah. But
well, I mean, I love her, and I don't know the character Gamora, and that's one of the things when people get upset about character. I've never heard anyone complain about her Gamora at all. But
I never even heard of the character before.
I didn't know. I knew of Guardians of the Galaxy, but like a lot of the heroes that are in the Marvel films, I found them to be hokey. Like, I don't really care about this group of people, but the film's great. I love the film, and the character of Gamora is great. I just don't know her from the comics.
I think the first time I heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, "Is that a thing?"
Right. Well, at one point,
the guy worked at the railroad. Was his name Ryan? I can't remember. Anyway, he was like a big comic buff,
Hmm.
and like that was one of his series that like he was a big fan of. He
Oh,
collected,
okay.
and I think I made that comment with an earshot of him, and I got like over the next week, I got like a whole history lesson of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, well, okay, I asked. So that always fascinates me, the number of little niche comic things that different people get into.
Yeah. There's
I'm into those myself with anime and Godzilla and things like that. There's more entertainment that could ever be consumed by anybody on the planet. So you do have to kind of pick your lanes and look for stuff that you like. But
there are a few comic series that if they ever got like actual live action, I'm thinking explicitly one called Quantum and Woody, and it's just these two dudes, and they have these like wristbands, and it's almost like the Wonder Twins kind of situation.
yeah.
And it's a real, they have a goat. It's just a slapstick goofy comic book, and Quantum is the superhero, and then Woody's just like his sidekick. He's just a dude. It's
I've got so many like little weird comic short run comics things that would make amazing movies or shows and stuff. And was it I See Demons? I can't remember what the name of it was,
that sounds familiar.
but it was like a guy that was convinced that he was like a demon hunter and was going around, and you have no idea. Like reading through the series, it's like,
Like, is he actually seeing demons?
is he killing demons or is he just walking around just killing people?
Right.
And it was an interesting concept for a comic, and it was kind of tongue in cheek as a little Deadpool-y kind of.
Yeah. Well, sounds it,
Yeah,
because
so,
he's maybe kind of insane.
yeah, yeah.
There's one. We'll talk about go on to Good Boy here in a second. There's one series that when I first started watching it, like on the top of the series, it said like soon to be a major motion picture from New Line Cinema or something, and it just fell apart. I don't know what happened. It's by a creator named Tim Seeley called Hack Slash,
Okay.
and the premise is Cassie Hack is the main character, and her mom, when she was in high school, died and turned into a slasher, and it's like Jason, Freddy, and the idea is if someone dies and they have enough hate in them, their hate keeps them alive, and they become a slasher. And so she has to kill her mom, and that leads her on like just a crusade to kill slashers.
Hmm.
It's a great premise, but
Yeah, I'm surprised that hasn't.
yeah.
There was even a kids comic that we read with our son, and it was like the idea was like they were all cats, like a lion and a couple other things that were stuffed animals that would come to life at nighttime and like fight everything that was like trying to come through this portal, like through the closet.
Okay, kind of sounds like that one Drew Barrymore story in Cat's Eye,
It could be
because it had the little gremlin thing that
Okay.
would come through the wall, and the cat would fight it.
It was a really good comic,
But
and I think
it was stuffed animals that came alive.
Yeah.
So it's the Cat's Eye mixed with Toy Story.
And that actually had, I think it had been like to the point of they were trying to sell it to studios, or maybe a studio was trying to get it developed, and maybe they just never got past a screenplay or something. And
Okay.
that's been 20 years ago now, so that one just obviously fell by the wayside. So
Yeah, you're not wrong when you say that there's literally more media than anybody could consume. Not even half the media that exists. There's so much.
I used to take a lap through the little kid section there at the comic store there in Roanoke, just to see if there was anything interesting for my son, because he was little when I was still going through that comic shop, and I saw that, and I think I asked Terry about it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's actually pretty good." And she put me onto that, and what was the other, like Mouse Hunt?
Mouse Guard.
Mouse Guard.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Mouse
we
Guard's cool.
picked up those for years, and nobody's made anything out of that. Talk about something that could be an animated series.
You'd think.
But let me get back to my dog here.
Yeah, Good Boy. This was I really, really wanted to see this. The premise is great.
It got distribution because I really like to kind of find out how Shudder functions. It's kind of like more they're like, yeah, that sounds cool. Here's some money. It can't be that easy, but this was distributed by Shudder. That's how it got out into the theaters.
Right.
And,
well, didn't it? Because Shudder is almost like almost an art house production studio where they make stuff and then they go to like film. What do you call them? Film events or like film festivals. There you go.
Yeah.
They go to film festivals, and if they drum up enough interest there, then they get wide production.
It might be. I mean, they're a company that actually did what Bob Iger tried to do at Disney, where he just tried to buy every IP that he could get, and he thought, well, that will make us successful. But they're just doing it. They're already finding ones that have already figured out how to do it, and they're just they're just providing the distribution for it because
Hmm.
this guy made a production company. I think it was like What's Wrong with Your Dog Incorporated.
Aw,
Like he
what's
just
wrong with your
he
dog?
just made it up just so he could produce the movie. And I guess so they could have that actual structure that I guess would let Shutter find them or something.
I mean, that kind of thing. I'm like, I mean, did he know somebody in the industry? That's one of those things where
Has
it's
to know
like
the
he
industry.
was a friend of someone who knew the industry, and they were like, "All right,
Yeah.
you want to make a movie? Here's
I
what you
guess
got to
I
do."
guess if you go through film schools and stuff, you have to make some
Yeah,
contacts
yeah,
with people that actually know what they're doing, and they can't all be people that are like, I've got a script I want to show you.
yeah.
But this thing took 3 years to film because they were shooting it with the dog. He realized that timing and getting the dog to do what you wanted to do was just not something he was going to stress his dog out over.
Okay, so he
So
like spread it out.
they would just shoot what they could get shot and be like,
That's good.
dog's done for the day, or we're tired of the dog not doing what he wanted to do, and we're not going to get mad at the dog. So
That was definitely one of the concerns when it came out. Was like, so the dog is in this film, and the dog is not acting. The dog is just reacting to what's happening.
I think it was almost all a squeak toy.
Really?
Like they had a different squeak toys.
They want to look over here, squeak squeak.
They had some that he was not familiar with, or would go find them so that he would get that, like,
Yeah,
what is that reaction?
inquisitive look.
And because there's a lot of that, there's a lot of times like they get a lot of shots, and it's probably just getting the dog to look at something and then positioning your cameras where the dog is like, there'll be something that happens and the dog's there's literally like an edge here, and you just see the dog just like come around, and he looks like that. Like, so better
That's
actor
great.
than some of the people they have working in Disney and Marvel. But
How much dialogue is in the film?
Just the owner talking to himself and talking to the dog, and not much. It's only an hour and 14 minutes.
Oh, that's quick.
I looked this up. He is a Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever.
Sure, whatever that
Kind of
is.
looks. It really looks like if you took a lab's face and nose and put it on a border collie.
Okay.
And it's got that little pink nose. It's such a cute dog.
He is. You gave us a picture. That's a low resolution picture.
Yeah, it's not a great picture, but yeah, no, it's his personal dog. It's a pure breed. Dog's name is Indy. I don't know if it's after Indiana Jones or independent film.
It works.
The premise of the movie is really.
Indy was the dog's name, so.
Well, yeah,
that's right.
That's a pretty good nod to.
Yeah, it might be a nod to Indiana Jones.
It's like we named the dog. Can't remember how Sean Connery says it, and I'm definitely not in the shape.
There's a dog's name.
Not in good shape to try to do my Sean Connery impression. Actually, maybe with my lungs, maybe I am. But it's a really basic story. A perfect thing for like just a little one try first film kind of thing.
Okay, my question, and this I want this spoiled for me because the answer will determine whether or not I watch it. Does the dog die?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Because that was my whole thing. I was like, I don't want to watch a horror film where the dog gets, even if it's like a fake dog, but whatever, but like the dog gets just slaughtered at the end. No, I'm not doing that. No, but if it doesn't die, that's great.
It is a horror-ish film.
Okay.
It is promoted to you as a horror movie. It's not really a horror movie. It's shot like one, but the whole thing is the owner, Todd, is dying of lung disease.
Okay.
And he's going to a farm that his grandfather left him, and his grandfather died in it of lung disease. Okay. And have you ever seen the movie? It's like this old French movie, The Bear. The first thing that Bart the Bear was in.
No.
There's a scene. That whole movie is like from the bear's perspective, and there's hardly any dialogue in that movie. I think there's like a couple hunters.
You know what?
It's been a long time ago.
I was gonna say I have seen this, but it was something my parents watched, and I was there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm familiar with it.
They do a scene in The Bear, which reminded me a lot of this movie, where the bear, when he's a cub, I forget the mom falls or gets shot or whatever, the whole start of the movie and how it goes out on its own. But anyway, it's like exploring and trying to eat some things, and it eats some mushrooms. And they have this whole sequence where like they're showing you the dreams of the bear as he's like tripping out from the mushrooms.
That's great.
And it really is like probably the best understanding of what people think animals see and how their brains work, where it's like it's seeing just like shapes and colors from the previous day, just all sort of flashing in its eye. And that's how this movie is shot. It's from the dog's perspective, and it really is. It's the interpretation of like I think both the dog's dreams and just what he's sensing because he can sense that his owner is dying.
Oh,
And
so it's a sad movie.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not like a tearjerker
Yeah,
or
yeah.
anything, but it's very very simple, very small scale. It's guy's got a good eye for film. He did a lot with $70,000.
It sounds like a student film from what you're telling me. It's like it's something that they would come up with in film school and be like, "This is going to be my." What are they? I mean, are they dissertations? What is the final film
Yeah,
that they make?
like your master's project
Yeah, whatever.
project or something like
Yeah,
that. But yeah, the it really is a simple concept that is it just kind of gives it a unique twist by doing it from a dog's point of view.
yeah.
Um, the funniest thing though is like I don't know if it was like the colors. I don't think it's the colors because our dog can't hardly see anything. It might
That was
have
going to
been
be one of my questions. Yeah.
the little background noises and stuff. I think through the movie, I don't know if they were like keyed to like a dog's senses or something. My dog Briscoe was freaked out for that whole daggone movie.
Oh, really?
He he stood over there. He doesn't normally even want to sit with me if we have a group of people here, because we had several people watching. He spent half the time on one side of me, half the time on the other, like standing
Huh.
up, like, "Can I get in your lap?" And he'd get in my lap, and he would just not sit down. He was restless through the whole thing. I finally got him to fall asleep a little bit at the end, so I was having like a 4D experience with a dog experiencing trauma on the screen and on my lap at the same time. But I never thought to look to see if they did anything with the soundtrack of it that was keyed towards a dog or anything like that. But
Yeah, at least just from the little AI overview that comes up, it doesn't explicitly say
I mean,
that it was.
got a
That's
Boston
interesting.
got a Boston
Yeah.
Terrier who his ears the whole time were
Huh.
they were just back like he was like, "There's something behind me, guys."
That's crazy.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it was a good little film.
that's good.
It probably wasn't the trailers probably oversell it as a horror
Yeah.
movie.
Well, there was one movie that I watched. I don't know if I ever told you about it called Skinamarink. Have I ever told you about this?
Yeah,
Where it
I started
was.
watching it. I think I was asleep in that one, and like I was
Oh, this that is a
under 10 minutes.
that is a if you want a movie to put you to sleep. You know, honestly, just put on the static,
Yeah,
the white static that used to come on TV. Just put that on, and you'll get the same experience.
that's basically the movie.
I went to the theater and watched this film. Because everyone was saying that like, oh, it's one of the scariest movies. It's unsettling and all that. And
I saw
I
the
sat
ads
there.
too.
I it was like an hour and however long it was of frustration. I kept going like, okay, there's more, right? Like you're gonna do something else.
Yeah.
Do something.
Yeah.
And it's one of those films where I'm like, that's like I saw what they were going for. They were going for like an existential dread kind of thing, almost like a Lovecraftian tale, like where it's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you don't know what it is, but it's something. They were going for that, and they just did not hit it. And that's one of the reasons. Good Boy, not so much, but like Backrooms is one of them. People are talking it up so much. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's what was the other thing that the YouTuber did or the streamer, the Iron Lung or something?
Yeah, recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole concept of that is he was like in a like submersive or in a submarine or something, going into like a sea of blood or something. It's
That
like
was
you gotta do something to make that interesting, and it sounded like he did, but you also can't really oversell that. It's like, oh, this is a breakthrough, greatest thing you've ever seen. It's like because the whole thing is he's in a submarine, or this whole thing was a dog was having dreams. So you can.
looking at the cast, it's Markiplier,
That's right.
Jacksepticeye, Troy Baker, who's in video games. Apparently, Alana Pierce, she used to be an IGN editor for like video game media.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how there's like this popular group of people who aren't actors or actresses, but they're moving into that space. It's kind of like how actors and actresses moved into the voiceover space. It's like they're going back.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Good Boys worth a watch if you just appreciate filmmaking.
yeah. I think
It's good for that. It's
I think I'd get. think I'll give it a watch.
Don't go into it thinking you're going to be like in the mouth of madness.
Okay.
You're not going to walk away like,
Well, it's
what was
good.
happening?
It's good to know that I shouldn't expect to be frightened.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. All right. Well, the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be Expelled from Paradise. It's anime that I've anticipated for a long time, and I finally watched it.
Okay.
We'll be back. All right, in this section, we're going to talk about an anime that I've wanted to see for a very long time, and I finally got around to it. It's called Expelled from Paradise.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the name, familiar with the imagery. I think I saw this thing on when we either had Netflix or Hulu, or maybe both, in the anime section. I think because of the way they had it marketed with the girl facing you and most of her chest facing you.
Well, I know there's also marketing images because there's a mech that she gets into, and the camera angle's just like from behind. But that's also one of the marketing images.
I'm not even sure I understood that it was a mech thing. I might have actually tried it if I did.
Yeah.
I think when I saw the picture with the girl and the Expelled from Paradise, I was thinking this is some weird fairy thing or something. So well, I never really parked on it to try to figure out what it was, unfortunately.
All I knew about it was the image that's up here, essentially. I knew that there was a female character and she was in like a plug suit looking thing. And we've discussed Evangelion, and I was a fan from Evangelion in the 90s, so I have an affinity for that like aesthetic.
If I'd seen that, I would have watched it.
Yeah, and then there's a mech, and it looks like a big sphere, and that's exactly what it is. It's a sphere that like comes apart, and then it's a mech.
They're somewhere back here in my thing. I picked up these things in Tokyo, and it's a line of toys they do of all the Godzilla monsters that roll up into a ball.
Like a sphere. Okay, cool.
And then it's almost like a little mini transformer that opens back up to like a robotic version of the kaiju.
Well, so, one of the toys I had growing up was a little golden nugget, and it was like a transformer. Like its little arm, like it would pop. The sides would pop out, and the bottoms would pop down, and it'd be like little feet and arms and little.
All right, tell me about it. Did you ever find it again? You don't.
No.
Okay.
No, but apparently it was like a not transformer, but like a geode former. It was like a knockoff, and they have all sorts of them. And I remember growing up thinking that I ruined it with like Cheeto dust, because in my mind I got Cheeto dust all over it and I couldn't get it off. But what it was is the gold paint rubbed off, and so it had that like an orange look to it. But anyway,
you just ate a little lead paint when you were a kid.
I probably did. It was tasty. But with Expelled from Paradise, yeah, definitely the look of the mech. And what are their mechs called? Let's see.
Was it a diva?
No, diva is the world that they lived in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I remember seeing that name.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, the mech, the Auran, Arhan, Auran, they are kind of like in the climax of it, because in the very beginning, when she gets to Earth, the Dingo, the male character, because he doesn't want her and him to be tracked, he destroys like the satellite uplink. And because the Auran can't connect to Diva, where Angela's from, I think that's her name, right?
Yes, yeah. Angela Balzac.
Angela Balzac. And every time they say her name, Angela Balzac, 12-year-old me, I was amused by that. Balzac.
It's a French thing. Is he a writer or a painter? I can't remember which one. But there's somebody French Balzac that did something.
Honoré de Balzac, French novelist and playwright.
Yeah, okay. He was French, so I mean, he probably surrendered.
Yeah. So I knew nothing about this series. It was because when I first started really wanting to watch it, I saw the images and I looked up what it was about, and I liked the fact that it took place on Earth, and the Earth was kind of dilapidated. You have the post-apocalyptic Earth kind of thing mixed with futuristic Earth. That's always fun. And I couldn't find to watch it anywhere. It was at one point, like you said, on Netflix. I think it was probably on Amazon at one point. Right now, I think it's available on Netflix ad-supported tier.
Oh, okay.
I think. But where you can watch it completely free is Daily Motion.
Okay.
That's like I want to say it was like pre-YouTube. It's just it's a video site,
Mm.
and it's ad supported, so you can watch it, and there's just ads throughout it. It's great. I mean, it's only like 480p, but you know, whatever. If as long as you're not a stickler for that.
Yeah.
If you want to buy the DVD or Blu-ray, you're going to pay out the nose. They did like one run, and that's it. And it's one of those things where if you want to buy like the German version, you can. It's like $30, no problem. But it's in German. So I don't speak German.
I know a guy.
Right. Hey, if he has it, I want it. Because this I quite enjoyed this.
I've got my connections to my knockoffs at this point. It's like, if you're not going to produce the things that we want, then we'll find ways to get it.
Well, I actually messaged the production company for Expelled from Paradise and said, hey, can you guys please just do another print of the original film? And I'll go ahead and talk about this before we talk about the little bit of the plot I'm going to talk about. The reason I really was like, I need to see this is this November, they're coming out with a sequel.
Oh.
I'm like, well, I'm not going to watch the sequel if I don't watch the first one.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, well, I'm going to find a way to do this.
Like, that'd be the perfect time to re-release the first one.
You'd think, yeah, do it now.
If you want your second one to make money.
Now, apparently in Japan, they're doing this thing where, because it's like an hour and 45 minutes, and they're doing this thing where they've cut it up into episodes, and they're like live streaming. They're not actually releasing. They're live streaming an episode like once a month for the next few months.
Huh.
But it's in Japanese, so whatever. That doesn't help me any.
Yeah.
And apparently, when I was just looking this up to see when it's called Expelled from Paradise, Resonance of the Heart, when that comes out in November 13th, 2026. I didn't know this. Apparently there's a video game adaptation coming out for the Nintendo Switch coming out this winter called Expelled from Paradise, The Stellar Angel. So when I first started this, like the first 5 minutes of this disappointed me. The reason being is it starts up and you're told they're in a virtual world. Like, oh man, virtual worlds are fine, like Sword Art Online and Dot Hack and stuff like that. They're fine.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the isekai thing. They're kind of played out. I'm kind of done with the whole virtual world thing. But then what it is you learn that humanity is living in this space station called Diva. And it's like almost a data bank. It's just a big computer. And humans have uploaded their consciousness to it.
Okay.
So humans are essentially in this world are like programs. And it starts off with this hacker infiltrating the virtual world and inviting everyone in this world like, hey, I'm going to go explore the cosmos. Come with me. And so Angela Balzac gets sent down to Earth to find this hacker and put a stop to him.
Okay.
And when she gets down to Earth, she meets Dingo, and go ahead.
Is there anybody on Earth that's an actual being, or are they all just still in storage?
Everyone on Earth are humans.
Okay, I got you.
It's only the people that are in Diva that are in their digital form.
I got you.
And so there's a little bit of like existential questioning of like, what is a human? What makes a human?
We're going to talk about that a little bit more in Ghost in the Shell.
Which that was one of the things I found interesting when I was watching it. I was like, hey, these themes kind of go along with what we're going to talk about.
And everything that's happened in the last year, 2 years.
Yeah. But like one of the things that is interesting when they're talking about what makes a human and what you value as a human, because when we're talking about our humanity here at this point in our life or in history, a lot of it has to do with our physical bodies. Like, when is a person physically a person? But like they completely just take that away. Like the body means nothing, and it's all about like who you are, like who your spirit is. I think it adds a.
It's probably a very Shinto thing. It
might be, yeah. But when they get to the planet, it reminds me a lot of the anime Trigun, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah. Like
stylistically, maybe even a little bit of.
One of those things I've wanted to catch up on too, because there's an old one and then there's just recently been a new series. Right?
It's a remake, yeah. So it's not like an extension or anything like that. Okay. Yeah, it's like a reimagining of Trigun.
I got you.
Yeah. I really like I like pretty much everything about this series. The main character, Angela Balzac, is almost like the archetype Asuka from Evangelion.
Mm-hmm.
She's cocksure. She thinks her poop don't stink. She's the cat's walk. She knows everything. She can't be told anything. But Dingo is the one that's world traveled. He kind of knows how the world works. He's street smarts. And for a good portion of it, Angela Balzac's almost like not even needed, but she's there to act as the audience proxy. And Dingo is explaining the world to her, and well, this is how these things work. This is how people operate. This is how these industries stay in business here on Earth. And he's explaining it to her, but he's really explaining it to us.
Yeah.
That's like a good half of the film when you're just kind of listening to him explain what the world is. And when they're going after this hacker, and the hacker's name is Frontier Setter. And Frontier Setter, I don't want to spoil this. That's fine. I try not to go too many spoilers, but this will be a spoiler. You learn that Frontier Setter is an AI, and so then there's also that's also a part of it. Is like, well, she being a human who's disembodied, and all her body is a clone. Like when they need to come down and do missions on Earth, they just clone a new body.
Okay.
And at one point, she like uploads her to send her report back home. She uploads her consciousness back to Diva, and she tells Dingo, if my mission isn't done, I'll come back and we'll have to do more. But if my mission's done, then my body's biological function will cease and just burn it or whatever, or bury it, whatever. I don't care, because if she needs another body, they'll just clone another body. Interesting concept.
Very,
but
Matrixy ish.
Yeah.
Not quite, not the same.
Yeah, they touch like a lot of this media really kind of touches on the same kind of concepts.
Yeah.
Frontier Setter as an AI makes her kind of question like, well, what's different between the humans that are in Diva and this AI, because this AI seems to be conscious.
Yeah.
And one of the things, and this was made in 2014, before all of our AI things, before all the AI that has come out, and we've seen AI make art, we've seen AI make music. It's doing a lot of the creative stuff we thought only humans can do. Yeah, no, they can do it too. Dingo plays a guitar, and he sings in the anime, and Angela's really intrigued by this. Like, well, why even do this? And he's like, well, when you sing, you can hear it in your bones. And she's like, what do you mean hear it in your bones? That makes no sense. And when they meet Frontier Setter, at one point he's singing, because they're like waiting for something, and he's singing, and Frontier Setter takes what the song, because he knows the song, he knows all of human history. He knows the song and like redoes it and like makes his own version. And Dingo's really impressed with this. And at one point they're like jamming together, which is something I'm not sure if people have done with AI yet.
Yeah.
They've jammed with AI.
Yeah. I think they've even like had some songs released that are completely AI.
Well, I've seen that. But I'd like to see AI like with a human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think with some of the ones, the chat things and stuff, I think you can actually do that with music and stuff. I play 0 musical instruments, and I have the singing voice of a moose that got shot. So,
have you played with any musical stuff that AI can produce?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I watch a lot of things where people, like one of the shows I watch in the morning, there's a lot of people that make little AI videos with some of the people that are on it and make it look like they're singing stuff or make songs about them. And I think they're literally doing that in just minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, it's kind of mind blowing that, if you wanted to actually write a song, put the tune to it and all that stuff, you'd spend a couple days, maybe a week trying to get it right. And now you just go to the AI and it's like, make me a song about Randy going to the store and, coming back home, and you could put in whatever parameter you want to. And then 30 seconds later, they've got a song that actually almost kind of makes sense, almost kind of rhymes. Sometimes they kind of misfire on that, but.
Well, when we first started doing this, one of the things we had to do was we had to find a song.
Yeah.
And so I spent a good deal of time in the music production AI studios trying to, and all the stuff I could access that was free, because I'm like, I ain't paying for this. But they ultimately no one produced anything that I felt was hitting the spot just right. And the music that we use is by Danijel Zambo. And as far as I know, Danijel Zambo he could just do AI stuff.
Yeah.
For all I know.
He might be an AI for all you know.
For all I know. But the music that we use is a Saloon, which is great. There at one point we might get an AI song that we like better, and at that point we'll use that.
I've shown you the Kipnis, right?
The what?
The Kipnis, the guy that takes like a
Yes,
dog barking.
yes. Yeah, you have. Yeah.
I've actually got one of the little boards like he uses to mix stuff on. I don't think
what
I
are those
have
called? Soundboards? Is that what it's called?
It's like
a beat board.
No, it's like a little mini piano, but it's got like drums and it can loop stuff and all that stuff. I have not fooled with it at all because I'm not sure my computer will support it.
Right.
But yeah, maybe down the road we might actually just make our own music.
There you go. But yeah, I recommend it. I think it's great. This image I've got here is of them in their little buggy going across the desert with the mech in tow. That's it really embodies the feeling of the anime. It's definitely a feel good anime. Makes you think a little bit about what it actually means to be human.
Outside of the obvious with the outfit,
with the fan service.
How bad is the fan service?
There's very little fan service in it. I think it was probably one of those things where like, well, we got to get a couple of shots so we can put it in the advertisements, that kind of thing.
Sells the anime, I guess.
Yeah, there is like when it first starts, and because you find out that she's when you find out that they're in a virtual world, you find out that she's some sort of like system admin, like a security officer, and then she's like, well, I've got to go like chase after this hacker, and it goes into like a virtual world where it's like when you think of cyberspace from like the 90s, it was like that.
Yeah. It
reminded me of a game called Rez. Have I ever told you about Rez?
I don't think so.
Rez is one of those games that I loved it when it came out. It came out on the PlayStation 2. It's come out a bunch of other times. I've played it all the time. I've played it every time it's come out. It came out in VR. Fantastic. It's all wireframe, and it's like the idea in Rez is you're trying to penetrate into a mainframe that has been taken over by a virus. So you're trying to kill the virus and release the CPU. That's essentially what you're doing. You're an antivirus. Yeah. Yeah, that's
okay.
It. And for a very short sequence, after you find out that they're in a digital world, she goes into a sequence, and when she goes into that sequence, she's like naked. And so when she's flying through cyberspace, she's naked. That's pretty much it. And then the rest of the time, she's in this plug suit looking thing.
Yeah.
But even a lot of times with anime, they'll take the opportunity to insert fan service. And I didn't feel like they did that very much in this.
That's kind of what I was asking.
Yeah.
I mean that's obvious. I've accepted that that's the way most anime is. Mm-hmm. When you go to the next level of the people falling into things and talking
the
about
word I
grabbing
use
them all
for
the
that,
time.
Yeah, the oops I fell on you. That I call that ecchi anime.
Yeah.
I'm
not a fan of that stuff. That's just
ridiculous. I wouldn't include this in that. This I would say this has overall. I would say this has less fan service than like Evangelion did.
This really, if you're going to go see a movie and Scarlett Johansson's in it or whatever, it's no different than that.
Yeah.
You're half the people there are oogling her. And this is just some creation that somebody drew. So
yeah. But it's
I definitely want to track it down. Like I saw it before somehow or another between me trying to not look at things I didn't want to look at.
Right.
I missed the fact that it was like a mecha.
Yeah.
So I will I'll look for it to pop up on something or mac off you after you buy it or something.
If I can find it, I'd definitely purchase it. I would love to put money towards supporting this franchise. Hopefully they come out with another production of it.
Yeah, if they get a theater release, I can try to catch this first thing at some point.
That would be cool. If
if
they did it, that would probably be the best bet for them if they do a theatrical release. Premiere. Okay, it's saying it's premiering in Japanese cinema November 13th.
Okay.
So we don't know if it'll come to our cinema, but that would make the most sense is do a release of the original, then release.
It's a good time. because that's where we don't ever have anything in the theaters.
Yeah.
So it'd be a good time for a Fathom thing. Wish they wouldn't do it as a Fathom event because they'll charge you more for that ticket than a regular ticket. But.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it does. It says an official English release is confirmed, but it doesn't say whether or not it's for the theater, which is whatever.
It might just be.
We'll find out. Yep.
Might just be a Crunchyroll.
Yeah. We'll get it in your hands before it comes out in November, because I'm sure in December I'll probably want to talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for Expelled from Paradise. We're gonna next talk about.
Come back to Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence.
Talk about more existential crisis about what it means to be human.
And AI.
It's
trying to kill us all.
Not yet, but it will. All right, so in anticipation of the Ghost in the Shell 2026 anime, Joel and I are going through the different Ghost in the Shell media.
Yeah, that's a really bad twist my arm thing, isn't it?
Yeah, we got to watch more Ghost in the Shell.
We got to watch more Ghost in the Shell. Especially this one. This one is like the one that I always forget that is there.
Well,
and I honestly, I'm not ready to say it because I haven't watched it enough times to say that I almost like it better.
Yeah,
in ways.
I realized while watching this is I've started this before, but I've never seen the whole thing because I was like halfway through. I was like, I've never seen this. So, but I kind of agree.
It's kind of like it's a slower thing, but then like when it kicks in, you're like, oh my gosh. And it's some of the action in this thing is just insane.
There's a lot of world building in this one.
Yeah.
I would say this is more like Blade Runner. Like this whole story could just be pulled out of Ghost and Shell world and inserted into Blade Runner with very little changes.
I wrote that somewhere that this was almost like a very long episode of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
Okay. I mean, they even say standalone at one point. I was like, hey.
Yeah. But as much as all the imagery and all the stuff is always about Major in this, in the Ghost in the Shell series, this is about Batu.
Major looms.
Yeah. She's not excluded from this, but
right now,
if you go into this wanting to see Major jump around and kick people and disappear and come through windows shooting people, you don't get that.
Last week we spoke about God of War, and there's a new God of War that had been announced, based, and the character in that is going to be Kratos's dead giant wife, Jotun or whatever they call it, Faye. His giant wife, right?
Deuce Bigelow, is it just
right?
That's a huge.
Yep.
Behemoth.
But yeah, not giant physically. That's just her race. She's a giant.
That's a private joke, man. My wife has elbowed me. I don't know how many times because we'll be somewhere. Most of the time, it's not an actual woman, but we'll pass one, and I just can't help it, man. It's like that's a huge.
But the conversation in the video game world right now is there's a lot of people talking about the idea of whether or not a franchise needs to stick with a character. So, like, is God of War Kratos? Like, if it's not Kratos, is it God of War? Yeah. And in that conversation, one of the things I was considering was like, well, wouldn't that be kind of like Ghost in the Shell without Motoko? Well, this is Ghost in the Shell without Motoko. That's exactly what this is, which is I find interesting because of the conversations that are happening right now.
Yeah.
But it's good. It is good. Batao is a fantastic character. I love the guy.
He's my favorite part of Ghost in the Shell. Great. So, and this really is my two favorite parts. The other guy's Togusa.
You said before Togusa was your favorite.
He's really more my favorite because of the series, because they really develop him more there. He's kind of the sidekick in this, but it's not very fleshed out. Not a lot of character building with him. It's just kind of like he's there. This is supposed to take place in the far distant future of 2032.
Right. Far distant future.
And it's 3 years after Major disappeared in the first movie is the timeline of all this.
Now, one of the things that I was kind of taken aback by is they talk about Major earlier in the film, and they talk about how she had so many cybernetic parts replaced that she was like completely cyborg.
Yeah.
So I always thought that Motoko was just like a brain inserted into an android. But this spoke about her like she was a human that got all of her different parts replaced. Kind of like a ship of Theseus situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess that lore is kind of different in two different pieces of Ghost in the Shell properties.
Yeah.
Where one, she was extracted from a dying mother and put into a cybernetic body, and the other that she was a child that was hurt very badly in a crash for their parents, and then they rescued what they could rescue of her. And I guess as if any of the other missions and things that she does, or anything like what happens in the movie, she's not afraid to tear herself up. So I would guess as that progressed, maybe from her inception, that you would be replacing.
Yeah, she definitely doesn't have any she doesn't have any attachment to her physical body at
No,
all.
no,
At all.
no. Because I mean, I guess that's the whole thing with that whole.
Yeah.
You can. I guess when they at the end of the first movie when they have the other guy's consciousness in that other thing, they're trying to shoot it in the head. I guess if they actually succeeded in that, it would have eliminated it.
Yeah.
Because it was.
Well, one of the things that in this kind of media, which I'm not sure if it's going to play out in actual reality,
Yeah.
is it treats a consciousness as if it can't be copied. Like it's like especially like in the original Ghost in the Shell, what's it called, Puppet Master would go from one system to another, but it's not like it could. I don't think it could copy itself. It was a contained program.
Well, they kind of branch out on that in this. We'll get to that. But
yeah, you're right. They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Section 9 is investigating in this one the deaths by gynoids or
Gynoids.
And
okay.
Gynoids are basically a companion robot,
and sex robots.
Or sex robot.
Yeah.
So I guess
they could have come up with a better name for that. Gynoid. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, are there male gynoids? I would assume they're all female.
Yeah, I guess that would be your market for the most part, but I don't want to go down that road.
It's coming. In 10 years time. Yeah. We're gonna see a lot of these fictional situations played out in real life in the next 10 years.
But I guess we got Section 9 because they're kind of more of an international crime and terrorist organization or anti-terrorist organization. The gynoid had a legal ghost, and they were suspecting that it was being dubbed artificially, which is illegal. Yeah. You get to the death of Jack Walkson, I think I'm saying that right, who was an employee of Locus Solus. And he was killed kind of in a return kill by the Yakuza, whose boss was killed by one of these gynoids. And it was really... Yeah. There's a series of these like deaths.
It starts off with the gynoids killing people.
Yeah. The series of deaths of kind of high dollar important people in some realm, whether it's the crime world or the corporate world, getting killed by these things. So it's not like everybody has one. It's kind of more of a rich thing.
And that's like, this term wasn't in the first one, but I mentioned last time we were talking about Ghost in the Shell how you see a shell that looks like Motoko.
Yeah. So
like that's kind of how I've always envisioned how Motoko fits into this world, is like the model of her body, what they would call doll in this movie. Her doll is a gynoid. Yeah. It's used for just like pleasure and stuff like that. Yeah. But they repurposed it to be, and like, you know, like a hot rod, they've tweaked it. Yeah. To be more powerful, and they've repurposed it to be
turned her into an
agent.
Tank.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Walkson guy gets killed by the Yakuza because their boss was killed. They task Batu and Togusa. Togusa is the least altered, least cybernetically altered.
He was in the first one. He was kind of treated as he's the one that's not a cyborg.
He's kind of
we found out that we were told he has a cyber brain, which as far as we knew was just like a internal walkie-talkie.
Like a little chip or something.
Yeah. But in this one, it kind of, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, he's just kind of the representation of the classic detective, classic cop. He still wants to have a revolver. I think that's in the first movie as well. He's usually driving like an older looking car.
And the car that he has in this one is like a 1950s style car.
Yeah.
It's cool.
He's like holding on to
One of the
He's
past.
like, we're humans, dang it.
Yeah.
So, but I like that character because of that, because
I mean, in this
I know
world,
that sentiment in police work where they keep trying to change things, and you're like, man, you don't need to change this one thing because this actually works. And
aside from Togusa, is there like, are we introduced to anyone who doesn't have cybernetic enhancements? It's
I'm sure there's some people in the world of the manga and stuff like that
yeah.
that probably are like that way, but in the two movies, I think he's pretty much the only one.
I think
'Cause-
a good way to conceptualize cybernetic enhancements, especially if you consider the cyber brain, is as ubiquitous as cell phones are in our world.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are people out there who don't have cell phones.
Yeah.
But it's weird at this point. I mean,
There's
it's enough people to where you could say everyone has a cell phone. There are homeless people with cell phones. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. So like in this far flung future, 2032, yeah, everyone, even the homeless, has a cyber brain.
Do you think it would be that hard to sell to people that like
No.
we could put this in you so you
Yeah.
don't have to carry it around with you? There'd be people be like,
Yeah. Well,
sign me up.
that's one of the ways I've kind of changed my mind as I've gotten older. Like when I was like 20, 22, 25, in my 20s, I was like, yes, I want to be frozen when I die. Yes, if I can replace body parts or brain parts with cybernetics, I want to do it. But as I've gotten older, I'm like, I don't know. I don't trust you people. So leave me alone.
Nah.
When I die, just burn me and leave me alone. I don't care.
I'm still working out whether or not I want to be like made into a firework and shot at somebody or not. But I'm probably drifting further away from that than I used to be.
The idea of they do that thing now where it's prohibitively expensive, where at this point I wouldn't do it, but maybe by the time I actually die, where they'll put your ashes in a rocket with a bunch of other ashes and just shoot out into space. That sounds fun. Why not?
In Godzilla movies, it usually results in like a monster coming back that's kind of based off of what gets sent out.
There you go.
If you send me out and I come back as like a big space kaiju, I'm not completely opposed to that. But they send Batu and Togusa to investigate the Yakuza bar where the
I love this
boss
scene.
was. They're like, we're just gonna go in and talk.
Togus
He comes
Batu
in with,
has like he brings the gun. He's like putting it in the
what do you
trunk.
call that thing? Is it like a saw? It's what replaced the M60 in the military. He
I
comes
don't know
with
the name
that.
of it, yeah.
It's just like it's a light heavy machine gun
Yeah.
that you would use to. But you're the guy
To-
who's laying down cover and fire for an entire unit of infantry.
Togusa says, "Oh, just only if necessary."
Yeah.
He's like, don't shoot anybody. Don't open fire unless it's absolutely necessary.
He comes through the door with his giant machine gun, and of course the Yakuza responds the way you think they would. And
Well, I love the visualization of like he's like, don't shoot unless absolutely necessary, and then it has like a good 10 seconds in the scene where the Yakuza guys are kind of like looking at him,
Yeah.
and they're just kind of waiting, and they stand up, and then he mows them down. It's great.
that's one of the two action scenes in this thing that I was just like, man, I didn't remember this movie that well. And it's like, this is great. But
There's not a lot of movies where I'll watch it and be like, I need to watch this again. And this is one of those films. Like after I watched it, I was like, I know I missed some stuff. I have to watch this again at some point.
yeah, I've pulled it out and got it here. We've got our movies up here. Got it back in the forefront so that I can throw it back in myself because I'm kind of the same way. He kills them and he kills the cyborg that killed the Walkson guy, and he finds the new Yakuza boss who admits that they were involved with this Locus Solus company. Didn't really know how. He just sort of points them in that direction. Next scene, like Batu goes like there's other little side stories. He's got like a basset hound.
Yeah.
Is it a real dog or not?
It's a real dog. They ask him if it's a clone. I don't even think it's a clone.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be. And this is kind of where I was like, oh, it's kind of like a Blade Runner world where this is like a natural dog, and it's weird that they has a natural dog because they're really expensive.
Yeah. But he's going shopping for
he has specific dog food
for
he
the
likes.
dog food that he wants to get for the dog, and like he gets hacked in retaliation for this attack on the Yakuza. He thinks that he's actually seeing that he was attacked by the people in the store, and it wasn't. He actually shot himself, and he almost like
shot himself 4 times in the arm.
He was getting ready to kill the clerk, and it wasn't Togusa, it was the other guy, the guy who's always in the van
with a beard.
he comes in and like deactivates him
Mhm.
or pauses him or stuns him or something because they've got the little ports on the back of their neck.
See, that's one of the things about the idea of cybernetics and hand enhancement and stuff like that is a while like back in the 80s and 90s we didn't think about all this like Wi-Fi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when there was an android or a cybernetic enhancement, it was like isolated by itself. But this was made in the early 2000s where Wi-Fi started being a thing, where it's like, yeah, okay, well, when cybernetics happens, you're all going to be connected to the internet all the time, and like this kind of stuff
We
could
don't
theoretically
we don't
happen.
have a Ring doorbell or any cameras
Yeah.
or anything in our house because I'm like I'm not having a situation where even if they're guaranteeing me that it can't happen, it's like Target guarantees that it won't happen, and they break into Target's database all the time and steal information. And I'm like, I'm not going to have somebody break into the cameras of my house and watch me.
Did you hear about what happened with those Meta glasses?
Really?
So do you know about the Meta glasses?
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently they've been paying, like, in some foreign country, they've been paying a company where people are just watching all this video, like private video that these Meta glasses are recording, and they're farming it for data to train the AI on. But what they're having real people do are watching these videos that people are recording, not knowing that their videos they think are private are being watched by someone else. So it's all manner of private things that you could think of that these people are recording.
No.
I'm like,
I don't like that to begin with. I've seen people at anime conventions and stuff that have those things on, and they'll talk to somebody and say, "Hey, can I take your picture?" And then they turn around and they just do this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how many times are you doing that without asking?
Oh, I'm sure all the time.
So that's just creepy. But
yeah.
But yeah, he gets hacked. They try to make bad press because of the attack on the Yakuza. They're trying to sort of turn the press against the Section 9. It doesn't really work because what's the little balls from Section 9? I always forget what his name is, the chief. He doesn't care. He's like, whenever he's on a mission, he's going to
Daisuke.
Yeah. So they go to Itorofu.
That's the mansion.
Well, it's like the whole financial like district city or something. It's all that was very Blade Runner looking to me when they come into the city, and there was some kind of parade going on with like robots.
So before the mansion,
yeah. But they're trying to find Kim, who is he used to be a soldier with Batu, and now he's a hacker, and he's obsessed with dolls, and that's one thing the gynoids look like dolls.
Yeah.
So
like when you think of a Chinese doll, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Porcelain looking face.
Almost like a what do you call them? Like a geisha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Black wig, white face. And then they go to this guy's mansion and find him, and he's put himself into like a human-sized marionette. So he's just existing in a cybernetic body himself. And he lets them know that the Locus Solus has a secret headquarters on a ship in international waters. And when I say Itaforu, that's an actual place. It's a disputed island at the very top of Japan that Russia claims some right to, and Japan claims right to. So Russia has a different name they call it, and it's basically like a tribal place. In real life, it's not a big cyber place like it is in this.
Right.
But it's way at the top north of Japan, so it's kind of away from stuff, and I guess that's why this company's operating there in waters where nobody can see what they're doing. So they've got a secret headquarters on that ship. Kim, after like Batu and Togasa talk to Kim, he hacks them both and puts them in. That's kind of weird as part of the movie. Yeah. He kind of traps them.
It goes into a time loop.
Like a time loop, and it's really trippy. Took me a minute to figure out what was happening there.
I think anyone watching this for the first time, because I did it, I was like, wait a minute, did I rewind this? Because it like restarts the scene.
Yeah. But he's trying to just keep them from leaving. I guess most people wouldn't be able to figure it out.
And this is where a lot of the existential discussion happens in the anime, where it's talk about like, well, what is a human? It talks about how, well, the doll is the ultimate form of a human, and you could dissect everything that they say. There's some of it, I don't have the quotes or anything like that, but there's some of it that it's like, that's just
that whole conversation with Kim was a big philosophy mumbo jumbo thing.
A lot of mumbo jumbo.
And Batu, I guess, has enough cyber defenses that he's able to like realize what's happening, and he resets Togusa, so
And
they get out of that, and he finds out that it was Kim that actually hacked him at the convenience store, and he was the one that caused him to shoot himself.
and this is where I was like, oh, so Togusa has actually more like cyberware than I thought.
Yeah.
Like if his brain could actually be tricked in that's thinking that he's living in a different reality. Now in this, one of the things that you see is you see like characters floating in the air like holograms. And so I'm wondering if like those characters are actually like they're not actually holograms, it's just stuff that's projected from their eyes. Like they see it because their cyber brain is telling them to see it.
Yeah, I get the impression that it would be cool to get a lot of more backstory on Batu, because if he was a soldier and he was involved in more military things, that he probably has some hardware and things that are
military grade hardware,
military grade, and maybe more secretive things and all that kind of stuff. So.
Tell you do, especially in the convenience store where Batu gets hacked. You see like what he sees. That seems maddening.
Oh yeah, and he walks into the store and it looks like everybody in the store is there to ambush him, and that's why he thinks that he's being attacked. And but then because they break free from this, and Batu just he goes solo to the boat, and Togusa hacks the security so he can get in, and it becomes. I haven't seen it enough times to declare it. It's one of my favorite scenes I think I've seen in anime for a while, where he just loads up with guns. He goes full on Matrix and goes onto this boat. Security team, where was it there? Yeah, the Locust Solus releases a virus because they know that they realize that they get hacked by Togusa. It fries Kim's brain, so it kind of like kills him, cuts off, destroys any information trail that they would have had through him. And it also loads like a weapon. It loads a virus into all the gynoids that are on the ship. There's hundreds of them, and just weaponizes them, so they all just start dropping down out of their containers to go attack Batu. And Batu fights. I mean, he's just slaughtering these things. Fights though he's about to be overwhelmed. I mean, there's just he doesn't have enough ammo to get them all. And then Major takes control of one of them, and just drops in behind him and identifies herself to him. He gives her a gun, and she kind of bails him out there. They don't still haven't beat. They have to keep fighting their way back to. They get to a station where there's like a big portal thing they open, or a big access point.
Yeah, Major's kind of treated as a MacGuffin in this.
Yeah,
they were like, "Oh, crap's hit the fan. Yeah, bring Major in."
Yeah. Well, she spoke, or at least he thought he heard her. I think she actually did speak to him at the convenience store.
Yeah, listening to the ghost at one point. He talks about that.
Yeah. But then she gets into this like little access point, and she hacks in, takes a minute. He's sitting there just like they're in a little corridor, and he's just stacking up gynoid bodies as they're coming at him. She finally gets them all shut down.
That's because she like jacks into the computer of the system, and
whatever that little access point was thing that they pulled out.
I found it interesting how they had when she was first pulling the access point out, they had a little like, oh look, her arms are straining. It's like, you gotta have that. You gotta have that.
Yeah, they almost ripped her. I think she did damage like her shoulder or arm or something. Yeah. They get it shut down. They go deeper into the ship, and they find that the whole thing is that the Yakuza was trafficking young girls to Locust Solus, where they were putting them in containers, and they were dubbing their consciousness,
copying their ghosts, essentially.
Dubbing their consciousness into these robots, into these little gynoid robots.
Now, they did kind of mention how, like, when you copy a ghost, it's not a perfect copy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a copy of a copy kind of situation where every copy you make is not as good as the original.
But again, this is 2004, pretty much predicting exactly what's going on now, where you're finding out that everybody in power has an obsession with young people.
Yeah. The idea that they're copying the ghosts or the consciousness of these young girls into sex robots. Yeah, that's uncomfortable.
Probably 12 to 14-year-old looking girls, which...
Well, that's definitely one of those things where these kind of things have happened, they've been happening in the past 5 years, 10 years or so. It's become more mainstream to know about it.
Yeah.
But like back then, I mean, this kind of stuff has always been happening.
Yeah.
And explicitly, these young girls were orphans.
Yeah.
And that goes right into like the child sex trafficking and
like migrants.
And it's where you have these kids and kids specifically, they're easy to disappear. I mean, because they're not as tracked. They don't have as much of a history as adults. And then if you got an orphan child,
Did you ever watch
no
The
one's
Sound of
keeping
Freedom?
no one's keeping track of them. I know of it. I've never watched it.
Okay. It's one of those things I don't know whether to even recommend to people. It made me so mad watching
Yeah.
it, but it was a really good movie.
Well,
But
we've talked before how like I think most of us like to like kind of pretend like we know this stuff is happening, but it's not a part of our lives, so we kind of just kind of ignore it. Okay, go on. Hey, I'm gonna watch the newest chicken anime.
my team's playing tonight.
Right.
But they free one of these.
Anyway,
They free one of the girls from the pod, and she explains that Jack Walkson had actually learned what the Locus Solus was doing,
Mhm.
and he knew that if he tried to do anything about it, he would just be killed. So he actually programmed the gynoids to kill their owners, so that the police would have to get involved because they would take out some important people and it would draw attention to it. So
it was a clever plan.
actually, kind of outsmarted
Yeah.
the Yakuza and the greedy evil corporation all in one shot there.
Batu kind of fusses at her for a little bit though.
Yeah. Then
Like, what did he say? He was like, it was something about the ghosts, about the ghosts actually being consciousness.
yeah, I don't remember what it was. If he was like, was it that he caused the ghost trauma, or the ghost caused him trauma or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Because of I don't remember is that part of exactly, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the conclusion of the movie. Then they go back to an apartment, made or no, not the apartment, but
His house,
a rooftop or something.
Oh,
I forget where they are. Where Major is still in the body. Maybe they haven't left the ship.
No, she lives in the ship. Like in the ship, she's like, I'm out.
Okay.
She's like, I'm done.
So I guess they're having that conversation there. He's still talking with Major. He asked her if she's happy, and she doesn't really answer that. She says she'll always be there to have his back, and then she just disconnects out of the body and disappears back into the web. And that's curtain close, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, you do have a little scene where he goes back to the house.
So go back to the house and see the dog
and the daughter, because there's
they see Togus' daughter.
Yeah, during throughout the film, there's kind of a question where Batu is like, how do you even know you have a daughter, and how do you know you're not just imagining, or your ghost isn't hallucinating this essentially?
So it's kind of a good callback to the first movie, because the garbage guy that is delivering all the messages to the phones, they implanted the idea that he had a daughter, and he was just some old dude, creepy old dude that worked for the garbage company that lived by himself in an apartment. And
it is interesting to think that Batu would, like, he didn't know, like, they're partners. Why wouldn't he know? But he explicitly says, I don't like to get involved in other people's lives and stuff.
This is the first time they've actually worked together.
Oh, it's the first time those two have worked together.
Yeah, okay. this he was being made, Batu's partner Togusa was in this one.
Oh, okay.
And they were both kind of resistant to it, so kind of sets up.
I missed that for some reason. I've always thought that Batu, Major, and Togusa were like a team in the first one.
Yeah, it might be.
He was kind of like the driver, though.
I think it was really Batu and Togusa and Major were the partners.
Yeah, they were the partners. Yeah.
And I guess what this has sort of been playing. This is only 3 years after that, but I guess he hadn't had a partner since then. Okay. So Togusa was sort of like he was a new officer in the 1995 movie, I think. So I guess he hadn't really been very involved and not really assigned to too many things yet. So, but yeah, the action and this stuff, the assault on the Yakuza bar and the assault on their ship are 100% worth it. If it seems a little bit slower at times,
it is. It's a more methodical story.
Worth the wait.
Yeah,
this is very much a film noir, like cop mystery, versus the first thing being a big cyberpunk.
And I think that's why I kind of got like Blade Runner vibes from it.
First movie,
Blade Runner mixes the like older style with cyberpunk.
The first movie is definitely more of like an international sort of spy terrorist plot. This is a detective story.
Yeah.
It's a slower pace. The only part that I would say it's not that I didn't even care for it. It does create a slow spot as they get into a deep conversation about what sentience is real and how do you differentiate and all that. And it's one of those things that's kind of the overarching thing of the whole series. So you can't talk about that but so much without kind of just pounding the point is like there's not an answer to that. I mean, there is an answer to it, but you don't want to see it constantly debated on the film. So
I feel like they kind of dip their toes into I guess pop psychology is what you would call it. It's just where it seems like the questions are deep, but it's really just like surface level.
Yeah.
No,
It's more to make you talk about it than it is for them to try to answer it for you.
When this is just let me find it. I pulled it up. There's a lot of good quotes in this. Oh, I must have closed it. Oh goodness. Oh, I'll just do it from my memory. As horrible as it is, you can send an ass to walk around, but it's not going to come back a horse.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that idea. Where
there's a couple things he said. I was thinking I didn't have anything by me when I was watching it. That I thought about, man, I should write that down.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it's every bit as strong as the first movie. Obviously, it lost money compared to the first one. I think as a product of too much time between them and probably not enough marketing behind it. If most people didn't know that it was a thing here and it only got limited releases here, so.
In the timeline of Ghost in the Shell media, was there anything in between the original and this one? Because after this is when like the standalone complex and stuff started coming out, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. So yeah, it was probably one of those things where it just wasn't on the minds of the viewer.
Yeah, and not known to anybody other than hardcore fans of the first one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, here we go. No matter how far a jackass may travel, it will never return as a horse. His downfall came when his reach extended his grasp. This was a quote that I when I heard, I was like, what? Who can gaze into the mirror without becoming evil? The mirror does not reflect evil, but creates it. Maybe I'd need to think about it more, but that just seems like just garbage to me.
Mumbo jumbo.
What? Mirror creates evil?
Yeah.
Self-reflection creates evil? Come on. Anyway. This is a good movie. Great. Motoko is treated as a MacGuffin, barely in it, but she is in it.
Not much to do with her after what you did at the end of the first movie. So
no,
you have to either bring her back into some form, or she just has to appear like this.
She does tell Bato at the end, wherever you jack into the net, I'll be there.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny because you don't really jack into the net at this point. Like you're always online.
Yeah.
I kind of saw Motoko as like a good version of Job from Lawnmower Man, because Job goes into cyberspace and he wants to become a god. Yeah. And Motoko kind of goes out into cyberspace. He's like, if you need me, I'll be there. He even calls her an angel at one point. I have an angel over my shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's great. I enjoyed it. I'll definitely watch it again.
Yes. Yeah. Go get a copy.
Yeah. Yes. It is also, I watched it on Fandango, but I think it's on Netflix.
Okay.
I think. Anyway, that's Ghost in the Shell 2, Innocence.
All right.
All right, so that's our episode centering kind of around Ghost in the Shell 2, Innocence.
Yeah. We're always going to bring in, if we've seen something that we want to talk about or something that we see coming that we want to mention, we will add that.
Well, this past week, I really struggled with the idea of signing back up for that whole Regal Unlimited thing, because you talked about Good Boy, and I was interested in seeing Backroom, Obsession, both of those. I'm like, these are new horror films by like up and coming creators. That sounds awesome. Disclosure Day is coming out. I'm just like, there's a lot of movies right now coming out that I'm like, maybe I should pay for the Regal Unlimited. And then I got to the point to where you have to buy 3 months at once. I'm like, I don't want to spend $80 on this thing. It was like $85. I don't feel like spending $85 on this thing. So for now, I'm just like, I'm going to wait for stuff to come out. Because as a part of this, I was thinking, well, if we could talk about movies that are more current. Because like if we talked about Backrooms now, if we had an episode for Backrooms, that would generate a little more interest.
Yeah.
But maybe at some point in the future, but not now. Yeah.
One thing I forgot to throw in earlier, I needed to update it. Countdown clock.
Countdown clock. Yep.
Godzilla minus 0. Seems like that number is not right, but I guess that is. 147 days, 9 hours, 48 minutes.
Do you have is that a website you're at?
I just go to Countdown Clock and type in the date.
Okay, let's do that.
It's coming out on November the 6th. this year.
November 6th. I bet I could put that up on.
Yeah, I guess
Bring it over.
minutes and stuff is probably not accurate because
We'll
I think this is going to midnight.
Yeah, we'll do that next time. We'll figure that out. We'll actually have a clock up here.
Yeah,
we'll keep it up the whole time. Countdown to Godzilla. Is there anything else Godzilla coming out before then?
The whatever the new one is, it called Supernova?
Godzilla Supernova
From the same people that did Gauntlet, Kong, whatever his name is.
Godzilla X Kong Supernova.
Yeah.
Are they going to space? Supernova?
No, I think it's Space Godzilla is coming here.
Okay.
And
because I remember after the last one came out, I was texting you and I was like, I have a plot idea for the next Godzilla. They go to the moon.
Yeah. No, I think this is bringing one of the old characters from the 2000 series back down and inserting King Kong into it somehow. So
sure, they've certainly.
I'll watch those. I think I'll either almost did or did fall asleep in the last one, the New Empire, in the theater. I was just like, and it kind of felt a little bit like AI story to me. Just there was one little plot line and then something else thrown in and something else here, and I was like, man, this is just all over the place.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because one of the things about the Godzilla, I don't know, what do you call him, the American Godzilla with Ferris Bueller?
No, that is Zilla. That's what Japan refers to.
That's what they call it. So
they don't even
not even Godzilla, just Zilla. Yeah. Okay, so one of the things about Zilla is how Americanized it is, and even though this whole version of Godzilla has like the right design for Godzilla, like the plot and everything just seems straight Marvel slop.
Yeah.
And it started out great. Kong Island was fantastic. I loved that.
Yeah, and
the Godzilla of what, 2016? Was that
even
what that
up
was?
through Godzilla versus Kong, where they brought in the Mecha Godzilla. It was a good movie, despite the fact that you had Stranger Things happening as a side quest with Millie Bobby Brown and the kid that was the Torch and Deadpool and all that stuff doing whatever they were doing that nobody cared about. That's that whole Americanization of it. It's like, we have to do this. I was like, no, you don't. It's like, we're not dumb. It's like, we don't have to have a callback to the only thing that had any success in the last decade for people to enjoy it.
I don't know, the whole internal Earth thing, that took me out of it.
It was okay in the Godzilla versus Kong, but
Hollow Earth maybe is what it was called.
Yes, the Hollow Earth. In the next one, it got to be too much. There's just
I haven't seen it, but like there's whole tribes,
whole civilizations of giant monkeys and blah blah blah. It's like,
come on,
we've never noticed that, I guess.
Right.
It's when you keep it to where there's just remnants of something like that, and there's a monster here that came from there. I can buy that when it's like, oh no, there's a whole army of them. I'm like, okay. And poor city. I don't know if it's always supposed to be this is like Singapore where it keeps happening. And they are
Singapore.
They are wiping it out more times than they've taken out Tokyo in the other Godzilla movies.
So. I definitely like how Pacific Rift handle it. It's like, oh, there's a portal. That's where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the most.
Well, that like what makes these large creatures is like a process. Like, oh, the reason Godzilla is huge or the reason King Kong is huge is there's something that's happening either natural or unnatural that's making them big.
Yeah.
So if you need another one, oh, well, now a caterpillar got in it and you got a huge caterpillar guy.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's probably my Ninja Turtle brain there.
I still remain
massively
disappointed that there's just not more Pacific Rim properties because that's robots and kaiju.
Well, give it another 10 years. They might bring it back.
Yeah.
Seems like that's how they like to do it. They're like 15 years later, we'll make something. 20 years later, we'll make something.
Yeah. What made money a decade ago?
Yeah. But the next episode, we're going to talk about the Ghost in the Shell live action film. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
With Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to watching that again, especially after watching the Ghost in the Shell and Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence.
I'm going to get back into watching. We've got it here in front of us, the standalone complex, but there's a lot of episodes of that, and I don't think we could coordinate probably getting through that. You throw in what you know of it and remember of it if we want to, too, but it's...
I mean, we could kind of just say, hey, let's talk about what we've seen of it, not next week. Well, let's see. Let's look at how many weeks we have. We have 3 more weeks. So we could look at, because that third week we'll post on the 6th, which is the day before Ghost in the Shell comes out.
Okay.
So we could just do that if you want. We'll just talk about whatever we've seen of Standalone Complex.
I've seen it all. I've seen it all the way through. It's just been a while.
Okay.
And
that would be me that has to catch up then.
Yeah.
We'll plan on that, talking about that week. I don't know if we're on not next week, but the week after. I don't know if we're gonna have anything to talk about Ghost in the Shell specific, but we'll see.
We'll see.
All right. We do post on Spotify as a audio only podcast. We could do video, but at one point I'm like, what's the point of doing video 2 places?
Yeah.
And Cox is probably mad enough at me for all the uploading I'm doing. So we do Spotify audio only. We do publish on YouTube, which you're probably watching that here, video, and we do have an X account, which is a Dim Sum Podcast.
Yep.
That's links are in the description.
One day we're gonna try to curate a few more shorts and things for that.
That's always like, for me, that's always like a juice versus squeeze. Is a juice worth the squeeze kind of situation? Like we have ideas for like shorts we could do, but I'm like, do I want to spend the hour it might take recording it and editing it and posting it? I don't know.
That's what happens to me. Is I'll be like,
I could do this, but
yeah, I just get so behind on everything else.
That's kind of life anymore, isn't it?
I was doing our Pokemon channel up to the last second on Monday, and then after you do that for an entire afternoon, you're like, I don't want to sit down in front of the computer and do anything else.
Right. Yeah.
But I guess some people have just gotten comfortable just living in front of it or something.
That's what it is. They're always on it, always doing it.
Need a more expensive chair, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Check us out there. Follow, like, comment, any of that stuff.
Yep.
Tell somebody about it and get them to subscribe. Watch us too.
There you go. Anything else?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Later.